Gemini, kindly watch this video start till end. If you really want to learn about this particular month, can be mixed bag of positive, negative, both. This particular month of December indicates success, stability, progression in your personal life as well as professional life. Your planned project will be successfully accomplished and you'll gain from the same. Your better working environment, expecting a progression in all your undertaking. Mars transit report for all of you and transit effect for all of you from 7th of December 2025 will carry on till 16th of January 2026. Let me define you the Mars, about the Mars and its effect. Mars has traditionally been considered as a malefic planet in astrology that is more likely to produce evil than good. But this is not so. This is not true at all. Although, as is in this case with any planet, if the energies of Mars are allowed to operate to excess, its effects can be quite difficult, but usually there is nothing to fear from its transit. And in fact, its energies are a vital part of our life, everyday life. Mars is an energy planet. Specifically, it rules the energy that an individual uses to maintain himself or herself in the face of pressure from his environment. When you're talking about somebody's confidence, we're talking about Mars. When we're talking about somebody's guts, that is Mars. Without confidence, without guts, you can't survive in the world. That take you forward. The Mars energy say that this is what I am and this I can be no other way. That is your Mars. And prepare an individual to the fight. If somebody making you fighter in your life, that is Mars. If necessary to maintain his or her position. Obviously, one can have no individuality without this energy. Otherwise, you have no personality without this Mars's energy. It is a fundamental part of the ego, drive, and anyone in whom this energy is weak is not much of a personality. People can walk over the person. Person with a weak Mars often do the things that are attributed to a strong Mars, such as acting extremely pugnacious, irritable, or argumentative. These people have to constantly reassure themselves that they are strong, which would be unnecessary. If they really were strong, it is true, they don't have to, if they're really strong, they don't have to tell themselves, I'm strong, no. It is true that, however, the person with a strong Mars is likely to be rather domineering. And that is, you are here to rule. Because Mars is one of the commander of Devata's army. So he is a chief of staff, one of the chief of staff. If you see commanders of Devatas, the angels commander. Mars is also connected with work and physical energy, hard work, physical hard work and physical energy. And often its transit signify a day when you feel very energetic and extremely vigorous. In fact, one way to ensure that a Mars transit will not cause dispute or argument with others, which is a sign of male functioning Mars energy, is to have plenty of hard work to do. The negative side of Mars most often manifests itself when there is no other outlet for its energy. Then you're bored with the energy. You want to lash out. As Mars transit each planet in your horoscope, the area of life related to that planet will become energized. When Mars transit Venus, you seek out physical love. Yes. When Mars transit Mercury, you look for mental activity. But there is more to it than that. When Mars transit a planet, your ego drive are likely to incorporate that planet's energy. You will try to establish your individuality toward others through the issue related to that planet. This can result in a conflict with others if the energy gets too strong or encounters serious resistance from others. And of course, there is nothing wrong with a good fight if it serves some purpose. Fighting is one way to learn about your own strength in an interpersonal sense. As Mars transit each house, the affair of that house become energized, just as with the transited planet. And also you will be most active or seek to assert yourself through the affair of the house occupied by transiting Mars. Here again, you are most likely to have a conflict with others in this area of your life. The only danger with Mars is that its energy, when submitted to the physical level, can signify accident, specifically from burns or fire, and illnesses involving fever and infection. This is often the result of frustrated ego energies, and although you may have to dig around in your own psyche to realize that this whole thing, you must learn to express your resentment and anger, for they are legitimate part of your being. That is Mars. I am going to define Gemini. Mars transit for Gemini in 2025 December till January 2026. Transit of Mars in 7th house for Gemini. Start from 7th of December. It will carry on till 16th of January 2026. Mars transit through 7th house. Mars is the lord of your 6th house and 11th house. And Mars 7th house is the active aspect on your own sign, Gemini. 8th negative aspect on your 2nd house. 4th positive aspect on your 10th house, the house of profession. The house of profession. So during this time period, there will be living conflict in your relationship. When Mars in the 7th house, if you will not be able to control your word of speech or language or temper. There will be new job offer or appointment for the new job or promotion or head hunting, and your health will be improving and rising in personality. Illness may plague your spouse, and you may have a period of domestic strife. You may be suffering from a lot of illness, mental anguish. Those you are associating may be unscrupulous. If traveling, you will experience some suffering. You will be happy, wealthy, player-loving, well-behaved, polite, and beautiful. You will be enlightened, sensuous, and well-behaved, talented, and very presentable. You will be involved in a lot of disputes and court cases and business. You spend your money in secret deeds and satisfying your physical pleasure. This bringing trying time, mostly in matter of health and relationship. You may be suffering from excess mental worry due to health problem to yourself or to your spouse or nearest to dearest one. You're likely to feel fatigue and susceptible of developing eye discomfort, stomach problems, discomfort in your chest. You may have to take care of your spouse's health. You and your spouse are likely to develop deep mental anxiety during this phase of time. Most of you are likely to develop enmity with some noble person. Avoid any misunderstanding that may crop up due to hypothetical differences between you and your partner. If not handled tactfully, this may lead to big living conflict between two of you. Make peace with your friends and dear people. You're likely to be put to anguish by your kinship. Watch your behavior. You're susceptible to using bad words, being too horrible toward your siblings or very aggressive toward your family members. Your finances would need a tight watch as well. Some of you also lose some money due to unnecessary indulgence in competition. Curtail your spending spree and ensure a steady incoming of good lifestyle during this time period. Mars in 7th house. What the modern astrology says about this? What the modern astrology says, the Mars transit through 7th house, there is a tension in your life, but it can be used creatively. If you are conscious of what you're doing, If you're not, then this transit can simply a time of conflict, especially with those closest to you, such as spouse, others whom you must cooperate with, partners, fellow workers, colleagues. The spirit of the seventh house is intimate one-to-one cooperation of two people in a partnership. However, it is also the house of open enemies and people with whom you are in conflict. Because of being someone's enemy or opponent is also a form of one-to-one and confrontation. Because the nature of the Mars is self-assertive, it is very likely that you will experience the seventh house as the house of open enemies. Even your intimate positive relationship may suffer at this time. The problem is that you will find it difficult to give in and compromise as necessary for proper cooperation, either in marriage or in business partnership. There's positive side to this transit. In any close relationship, there's often too much compromise, that it is real complaint, grievances are not aired, which is in the long run tend to weaken even a fine relationship. Now is the time when these repressed grievances can be brought out into the open, which should result in a real clearing of the air between two of you. This transit can be put to another positive purpose also. If there is really great deal of the harmony in the relationship between you and your partner, this can be the time when you put a great deal of the energy into working through with each other. Despite the inherent contradiction between nature of Mars and that of the seventh house, the real meaning of this transit is you will use your energy most efficiently by working through partnership. As soon as you realize this, make your required adjustment, your affair will begin to working smoothly. Be careful of the primitive manifestation of this transit. However, try to avoid unnecessary conflict with others. Be sure that any conflict that occurs is over something worth fighting about. But sometimes this transit can signify legal conflict and lawsuit. Try to compromise if you can in order to avoid needless controversy. Watch your words, watch your language, watch your ego, watch your attitude. You need to be very, very careful. So here I'm going to give you the task to calm down Mars transit in 7th house. Try to wear a golden yellow sapphire in gold square pendant around your neck. But make sure the golden yellow sapphire have to be square cut, cushion cut or emerald cut. This will calm down your Mars energy in 7th house and give you status, prestige, honor, accomplishment. Quick reminder, yes, you can take your astrological journey even deeper by downloading my free app. Just sign up and you receive a complimentary basic consultation as my welcome gift to you. But you'll have access to premium content. Weekly horoscope premium content, monthly horoscope premium content, yearly horoscope premium content. Yes, with transit effect, conclusions, task precaution chanting, very thorough report, weekly, monthly, yearly. Wish you all the best. Thank you.